This was smuggled by the British from China and brought into India. One of the big reasons for the war was to break the monopoly which the Chinese had on tea. So he went into China and managed to successfully smuggle 20,000 bushes into India. So 1920s is when they started trading in tea till an earthquake happened here in 1905. It was massive. It was quite a destructive earthquake, 8.2 on the Richter scale. Yes.
करीबन 20,000 लोग
Approximately 20,000 लोग
गए थे। 1905 में अर्थक्वेक हुआ। ब्रिटिशर्स उस समय अपना हाथ खींच थे टी बिजनेस से। उन्होंने इंडियन फैमिलीज को कोई प्रोसेस के थ्रू दिया ना ये सूर्या जी जो कंपनी चला रहे हैं, इस कंपनी का नाम है वाह टी कंपनी, जो बहुत ही शानदार ऑर्गेनिकली ग्रोन टी लीव्स का टी बनाते हैं। एंड दो आई एम नॉट एन एक्सपर्ट, आई विल बी टेस्टिंग टुडे। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल सूर्या, थैंक यू कि आप हमारे साथ बैठे डॉक्टर सिन्हा अनप्लग्ड में, और हम अपना कन्वर्सेशन यहाँ से शुरू कर सकते हैं कि लेट अस नो ये जर्नी कहाँ से शुरू हुआ, ये टी प्लांटेशन का जो आपके एंसेस्ट्रियल बिजनेस है, ये शुरू कैसे हुआ?
So first, thank you for coming. So my family was from Dehradun, and not many people know there was, and there is still a few tea estates in Dehradun. My great grandfather and his brother, they were two brothers. So they had a kirana shop in Dehradun, and that is how their journey in tea started. They used to buy tea from one of the tea estates there, and in exchange they used to give them the jute bags. तो पहले तो barter system था. So that's how they started getting tea, and they started selling tea in their shop.
Okay, and this started in
Dehradun in the 1920s.
वहाँ पर भी टी प्लांटेशंस होता था?
वहाँ पर भी अभी भी टी प्लांट अभी भी है,
ब्रिटिश टाइम में भी होता था।
हाँ, so Britishers got tea. जो plant आप दार्जिलिंग, हिमाचल, देहरादून में देखेंगे is a plant which we call Camellia sinensis, which is a Chinese variety plant. This was smuggled by the British from China and brought into India.
Why it is termed as smuggled?
So the origins of tea is in China, and they were the first people who started commercially growing and manufacturing tea. There is no history to say that other parts of the world में चाय बनाना किसी को आता था. So the Chinese were the first people. When the Britishers colonized India, they were trading with China. They were buying tea. Instead of that, they were selling them opium, which led to the Opium Wars. One of the big reasons for the war was to break the monopoly which the Chinese had on tea.
Okay.
And they sent in a man called Robert Fortune, who's also known as a tea thief. So he went into China and managed to successfully smuggle 20,000 bushes into India. And these bushes were grown in the mountain areas.
So these parts of the Indian mountain ranges.
Yes.
Okay.
So primarily Darjeeling, Himachal, which is the Kangra belt, Dehradun. And from that tea we make teas which you drink without milk, generally.
The leaf one.
The leaf teas.
Okay.
So that is why, that's how these plants came here. So my family being in Dehradun, in the kirana shop, they were selling the tea. And eventually, the tea, one of the tea estates which they were buying from, they were struggling to pay rent to the British. So they ended up leasing the tea estate in 1929. And they had a very successful year. They ended up then buying a tea estate in 1932. So they bought that one, and then they went to Assam, and then they bought a tea estate in Assam.
And this was started by whom?
My great grandfather and his brother.
Okay.
So I'm the fourth generation now.
And that was in which year?
So 1920s is when they started trading in tea. 1929 is when they first acquired a tea estate in Dehradun. 1932 is when they first acquired a tea estate in Assam.
Okay.
And then from Assam, they started, from between 1930s to 1960s, they started buying many tea estates. I think at one time we had about 20 tea estates. which the grandfathers ran. So both these great grandfathers, they had many sons and daughters, and they were given this tea estate to manage.
Okay.
And that's when the family migrated to Calcutta, because Calcutta was the old British capital, and it is still the hub for tea trade, primarily because of the proximity to the northeast. So if you see the large tea growing regions in India, it's Assam and Bengal.
Right.
So that's why Calcutta was chosen, and the family migrated to Calcutta. VA was then bought in 1953 as a joint family. So we've owned this from 1953.
From whom?
So this was bought from the government. This history of VA was, this was established by the British. Again, after they found this area suitable, they started growing tea here in the Kangra Valley, from Dharamshala all the way up to a place called Jogendra Nagar.
Right.
So they planted tea. They were extremely successful. So Kangra was there, up there with Darjeeling, and people knew about Kangra tea till an earthquake happened here in 1905. It was massive. It was quite a destructive earthquake, 8.2 on the Richter scale, and basically a lot of damage. A lot of people died. There was a lot of fear. So the British left.
I believe that was a massive earthquake.
Yes.
करीबन 20,000 लोग
Approximately 20,000 लोग
गुजर गए थे.
and उससे Britishers फिर डर के they abandoned this area. Now उससे ये problem हुआ was जो estates उन्होंने establish किए थे, they were the ones mainly buying and selling tea. उस time Indians had not gone into this trade.
Okay.
So they then abandoned this region. And even though Indian families came and took over the plantations, but they were not getting lucrative markets to sell, because the British were busy buying from their own plantations and trading that. So they said, why should we buy from Kangra?
Britishers ही grow कर रहे थे. उन्हीं के subsidiaries.
Primarily जो tea था before the 1930s was owned by the British.
अच्छा.
So from the 1820s, 1830s, when the Britishers started growing tea in India, to the 1930s, they controlled the tea estates. Even, I would say 90% of tea estates in India were planted by the British. And they were running these estates. Now, because they stopped buying from here, Kangra tea started declining.
क्योंकि उसका अपना कोई market नहीं था.
अपना कोई market नहीं था. Indian families took over. उस time we were not treated very well.
Second class citizen.
So जो trading भी कर रहे थे, जो बना भी रहे थे, they were not getting fair prices.
तो अब बीच में एक question आता है. 1905 में earthquake हुआ. Britishers उस समय अपना हाथ खींच ले टी बिजनेस से. उन्होंने इंडियन फैमिलीज को कोई प्रोसेस के थ्रू दिया ना, ये एक्विजिशन कैसे हुआ?
ये पार्ट इज अ लिटिल ग्रे. लाइक आई नो सम फैमिलीज है जिन्होंने खरीदा उनसे. जो हमारा टी एस्टेट था वाज टेकन ओवर बाय अ फैमिली फ्रॉम अ प्लेस व्हिच इज नाउ इन पाकिस्तान कॉल्ड वाह.
From there the name Wa is coming.
From there the name Wah comes. So Muhammad Hayat Khan and his son Sikandar Hayat Khan,
Okay.
they took over this tea estate from the British.
Okay.
उनका क्या transaction था, we've not been able to discover yet.
Okay.
But he was a very Sikandar Hayat Khan was a very illustrious man. In those days, educated in Oxford. He was also the first premier of Punjab. This time, Punjab and Pakistan were, Pakistan and India were one country. Punjab
Single
was the state.
Punjab. It was undivided Punjab.
Yeah. So he was the first Indian man to become the premier of Punjab. So he came from a very illustrious background. He was here till 1947.
Okay.
And then the partition happened. So when the partition happened, Wah went to Pakistan. So then he left this area, and obviously there were riots, and he abandoned and he left. Then the government took over. And then my great-grandfather bought this in an auction from the government. So 1953 is when we officially purchased
From the independent
Indian government.
Okay. Okay.
And that's how we bought this estate.
And that time, who did this transaction from your family?
So my great-grandfather. So he was responsible, again, between the two brothers, because they were acquiring tea estates all over the country. And because they had such a large joint family, they had enough people to maintain. So the way it would work, what I hear from my grandparents and all, or my grandmother actually, that they would say that each grandfather was sent to one tea estate to manage. And they were like 8, 10, 12 sons and daughters.
This type of a business thing happened in the course of Rockefellers and the Rothschilds.
Okay.
I believe you have heard about the
Yes,
families of
yes,
Rockefeller and
yes.
Rothschild, and Rothschilds were known for banking.
Okay.
They started the concept of banking.
Banking.
And in that case, his 4 sons were sent to 4 countries to
set up the bank.
banks.
Interesting. I mean, I've heard of Rockefeller, but I didn't know. So, you know, I think that's how all old family businesses work. It's not only my family. Yes, definitely. Sometimes you think about, you know, the forefathers were very forward thinking.
To be very honest, audience would love to know कि Rothschild जो एक बिगेस्ट बिजनेस फैमिली आज के डेट में भी है, बहुतों को नहीं पता होगा, वो जो कॉन्सेप्ट में 1700 1800 में काम करते थे, इंडिया में भी ऐसा हुआ है.
देखिए, we were, if you see the olden families, they were very entrepreneurial. Even if I take my family to say कि हम देहरादून से we will buy a tea estate in Assam in 1932. Just that concept. Now when I went to Assam and as a adult, when I understand, you know, the distances, where Assam was, उस time there were no flights कि आप plane में बैठ के you reached Assam tomorrow or today in the same day in a few hours. The fact that they realize that there is an opportunity in Assam, there's an opportunity in Bengal, there's an opportunity in Himachal, is very forward thinking. And then to say that, okay, I'm going to send one son and his wife to one tea estate as a manager.
And this we are talking about the early independence era.
Yes.
1950s.
Yes, and these were all very remote places. Up to, you know, you cannot compare. Like Palampur has become an urban town. Back in the day, these were all remote locations. You know, in the middle of nowhere. How do you get here? Transportation was a problem. Train nahi pahunchta tha. So by the time you reached here was like my grandmother told me a story that once the brothers had set out to buy a tea garden, and on the way they got malaria or something, and they took it as a bad omen. So they came back and then they didn't buy the tea garden.
Superstition factors.
So ये सब भी होता था उस जमाने में. You know, you made this whole trek from Dehradun to Assam.
और उसमें कितना समय लग जाता था, कोई आपको कभी?
I have no idea. But like just to think कि इन लोग ऐसे करते, like, and you know, with the Brahmaputra in Assam, now it divides Assam.
Yes. So Upper Assam, for
exactly.
audience, Brahmaputra divides Assam into Upper Assam and Lower Assam.
Yes.
Right.
So there were some tea gardens which are in Upper Assam. There are some tea gardens which are in Lower Assam.
Right, right.
So when they went to buy in different parts, they had to sail across the Brahmaputra to reach. And I think in one of the journeys, one of the brothers fell very ill. So they took that as a bad omen and they said, "Nahi, ab nahi kharidenge," and they came back. So you know, these were also things which mattered. Like to think of it in today's day and age is just unbelievable. कि आप जब जा रहे हो, you reached, probably took them a week, 10 days to reach.
Correct.
And then to say, नहीं, तबीयत खराब हो गया, चलो वापस, we're not going to buy. So it's and you know, we are comparatively, if you see in India, we're a small business family. There are so many larger, much more interesting stories of how people started, how they came, they saw a need and they started their businesses. Is fascinating.
Now, next part of the question is, in this whole journey, in this change of era from your great grandfather to you, what type of transitions you have heard about and आप जो खुद feel कर रहे हो और आप खुद भी ला रहे हो ये business में?
Yeah, I mean, starting में we were a very big joint family, and obviously there were so many people involved. There has to be complications. Luckily, in my grandparents' generation, they partitioned the family. Some was not good, some was good. Everybody got their own tea estates and it got divided. The good thing I like about the family is after all of this happened, now we are very close. So grandparents' generation to my parents' generation to now us, we're very close to our extended family and we're all into tea. So, you know, there's a lot of help, there's a lot of, we try to promote each other, we try to back each other, we try to do a lot of trade with each other as well. So that was a very interesting thing how it all played out. Usually क्या होता है, इतना ugly हो जाता है, बात ही नहीं करते हैं families. But I'm very glad that my family is still together, and we every Diwali we have a meet in Calcutta. So the whole, we call it the Chai Wala meet because our family got into tea in Dehradun. I think we were one of the first families in Dehradun to get into tea.
Okay.
So we were known as the Chai Wala family. So, you know, we call this meet
by the locals.
By the locals. But
Okay.
see, पहले जो last names होते थे, they were related to what
काम,
profession you
आप
did.
जो काम करते हो उस काम से आपको बताया, बुलाया.
But I'm glad when we migrated to Calcutta, they did not take Chai Wala as a last name.
उनको पता नहीं था ना इस हिस्ट्री के बारे में, शायद से इसके बाद पता
And
चल गया.
but going to school, especially, you know, we all went, like my parents and all, they went to my dad or my uncles, they all went to boarding schools. or even we went to, you know, Catholic schools to
Right.
have a last name as Chaiwala would have been
Matter of
बहुत लोग bully करते हैं. So, you know, I'm very glad the family is still together. We meet in Diwali or whenever there's a big occasion. So it's a lovely feeling that, you know, you still have a family and the sense of belonging and all of that. And but see, I think what we've realized over the years is any agricultural business, not only tea, it's a farming business. And farms are becoming tougher and tougher. आप इंडिया में ले लीजिए या you take it anywhere abroad. Working in a field is very tough.
Why so?
It's hard labor. Right now, we don't get enough labor to work. There is a shortage of people. People are happier doing jobs in stores. There's so much of development in India. You know, construction sites, stuff like that. People don't want to work out in the plantation. So that is a big problem. There is a shortage of people. There is absenteeism. I'm not saying that development should not happen, but then agriculture is also as important, because if we're not growing the biggest, and India is a very big agricultural country, and if you're not growing our own produce, eventually, you know, with the way population is, you will need food prices will go up.
But there is an aspect. See, I visited Israel. ठीक है, तो इजराइल में मैंने एक चीज देखा, वो डेजर्ट था. 90% डेजर्ट, और वो 90% डेजर्ट को उन्होंने मोस्टली एग्रीकल्चर लैंड्स बनाया. दे हैव फुल कंट्रोल ग्रीन हाउस सेटअप है जहाँ पर टेम्परेचर कंट्रोल होता है, एंड दे आर नाउ एक्सपोर्टिंग वेजिटेशन. ठीक है, फुल टेक्नोलॉजिकल अपग्रेडेशन. तो मेरा ये क्वेश्चन है, क्या सेम इज सिमिलर टाइप ऑफ थिंग्स आर गोइंग ऑन इन, यू नो, यूरोप आल्सो, यूएसए आल्सो. ठीक है, तो इंडियन टी बिजनेस में, और अगर ये अब इंडिया का सबसे बड़ा कंपटीटर कौन है? आई बिलीव श्रीलंका.
Nepal is emerging.
नेपाल, राइट.
Kenya is emerging as a big, and China is for green tea.
अब क्वेश्चन ये है, ये टेक्नोलॉजिकल अपग्रेडेशंस हुआ है, ये जनरेशंस जो पास हुआ है.
Now there are two kinds of teas. One is the CTC, which is in simple terms दूध वाली चाय, or what we call crush, tear, curl. That is one manufacturing technique. That is a much more automated process. Then there's the leaf teas. Now leaf teas are much smaller, and it's a much more manual process. The main work and effort which we have to put in is in the farm. So is the green leaf. The better we pluck, the better the quality of the tea, or the leaves, the better the quality of your tea.
ठीक.
Technology wise, things are coming, but again with tea you want to pluck just the newest 2 leaf in a bud. ढाई पत्ता जो होता है, it's 2 leaves and 1 bud.
ठीक.
That's what we want to pluck.
ठीक.
That has to be selectively chosen. Now with the machines, sometimes the problem happens is you're plucking. So if this is what we call a plucking table, and if you look around, there is more or less one table, and on top of that you will see the light green leaf,
Right.
or the new leaf,
The top portion.
the top portion.
Right.
We want to pluck only the top portion or the light green leaf. Now, if we run a machine, a lot of times what happens is you're just plucking everything from the top.
Okay.
We're not being as selective as you require.
So any type of laser technology systems where we should,
You know, the thing is, these are coming, but they are very, very expensive
Okay.
currently.
So that will lead to आपका final product का cost
बढ़ेगा. See, like you said, Israel as well. It's a great example. What they've done with tech. Netherlands is another example. But then the cost of those vegetables are not cheap, right? And we're not at that stage yet where people are buying. Now, you know, there are trends. People are paying a lot of money for coffee today. You know, you go to a Starbucks, so you go 350 rupees to 400 rupees for a cup of coffee.
Right.
Nobody wants to pay 350 rupees for a cup of tea.
सही बात है.
Even though उतना ही effort है.
सही.
I'm not saying coffee में कम effort है या tea में कम effort है. At the end of the day, the effort is there in both the products.
Brand जुड़ जा रहा है, and then the
It's
thing.
a trend. Currently, coffee is in a huge trend. The coffee prices, I think, this year have been the highest they've ever been. We're hoping that tea also goes through this kind of thing. But there is this whole mentality that tea in India is, you know, it's a very everyday drink,
Right.
and it's very cheap.
सही बात.
Now, the prices of the input cost, the manufacturing cost is going up. The selling price needs to go up in the same proportion. That sometimes doesn't happen because it's a commodity. And that is where the problems with tea estates are happening. If you go to most tea estates, people will tell you the same problem, what I'm telling you. there is changing weather patterns. So, people, when we talk about global warming, I think the best way to experience global warming is actually start growing things. When you grow things, you'll realize that the weather is changing and the plants are not behaving in the ways they're supposed to behave.
Direct impact.
So now, me being a farmer, I'm noticing that there are changes in the weather. These things are affecting me directly. So that's why, I believe in global warming, and it is happening. It is getting warmer every year or cooler every year as well. So like this year, we're getting monsoons are going to be good, but it's slightly early. So, that pattern where it's become unpredictable. Like you were saying, over the generations, whenever I spoke to my grandmother, she ran the estates because my grandfather died very young. So she used to tell me कि 5-6 साल में एक साल drought आता था.
उस समय
में, back in the day. And these are things where they used to know these things. Now we get drought every year. And what we mean by drought is that temperatures in our growing area would never go above 30 degrees. Last year we touched 37. In the next few days, we're supposed to touch 35.
Right now, I believe today afternoon, it will be somewhere 31, 32.
Yeah. So, ideal tea conditions are 15 degrees to 30 degrees.
Okay.
Also, elevation matters. Like now, if you see, we're sitting out, it's hot. Right? It's because the sun is very bright and it's very harsh.
Right.
One thing we're lucky, there's no pollution.
Yes.
But because there's no pollution, the sun feels even stronger. So, obviously, I don't want pollution, but these are things which affect a lot of things. And that's why in Himachal, we have a lot of trees. So these trees are our umbrellas. And they're providing filtered sunlight to the plant.
My wife was telling when we were entering your tea state कि देखो अभी जहाँ हम टी स्टेट एंटर किए सडनली टेम्परेचर जो लगा ना डाउन हो गया. हाँ बात सही क्योंकि आप अगल बगल देखो पूरा हरियाली. ओके नाउ कंटिन्यूइंग टू द डिस्कशन एक पार्ट ये आता है इंडियन टी मार्केट जो है आपका टी मार्केट का जो मेन प्लेयर्स हैं कहीं ना कहीं ये डुओपोली में चलता है. वन इज़ टाटाज, वन इज़ HUL. ठीक है. अब मेरा ये क्वेश्चन है कि यहाँ पर आप जैसे टी स्टेट ओनर्स, इंडिपेंडेंट टी स्टेट ओनर्स, वो सर्वाइव कैसे कर रहे हैं और इनका मार्केट क्या होता है?
See, I think the duopoly has been broken by some brands. You take Bagh Bakri, you take Girnar, you take Society. These guys have all come in. I think what the trend is happening is nowadays people are more aware of the products they want to buy. They also want to go direct to source. That helps people like us. And hum log bhi recently we started a brand. Now people want to know where their food is coming from, where their tea is coming from. There's that famous food farmer. These people are bringing a lot of awareness.
This is a part of agri-tourism thing then.
Yes. So people are getting aware of how they want to know कि आप क्या pesticide डालते हो. We've taken a conscious call. We're converting to certified organic. 10 years ago, my dad stopped spraying pesticide. We've seen a big ecological change. You can hear the birds. Insects आ रहे हैं, birds insects को खाते हैं. This whole cycle is starting because we're stopping spraying chemicals. These are things when I joined I didn't understand or believe in. But now that I'm a part of it, I'm realizing that okay, there are changes which are impacting and which is good for us. We're not consuming any chemicals. We're living a healthier life.
Right.
So same is happening with people who are becoming conscious. That today आप खा रहे हो, तो you want to know आप क्या खा रहे हो. Is it good for me? That whole move in India, see, it all gets related to how the economy is growing. In a broader things, if you look at it.
Broader spectrum.
Yeah.
If we talk about,
People are doing well. People are now looking to spend money. They're realizing the quality of life. They're realizing that India is becoming the cancer capital of the world.
सही बात है.
So their gyms देख लीजिए आप. The youngsters are all into fitness. They're not eating as much junk. They're conscious about what they're eating, how they look. And these things are eventually going to play out to food. Now, if you're making good quality food, you're not spraying chemical, all these things, there are people who are conscious about these things and who will reach out and say, I want to buy from you. So, I think we, as a tea estate owner, we will have niche markets. We can never take on bigger giants. But we will have people who are conscious, who are interested, who want to understand, who want to know where their food is coming from, how their food is grown. And these are posing as good opportunities for us in India as well as abroad. And India is a great market and it's a very big growing market.
Right.
So it's a good time to start, getting into these spaces and understanding what your consumers
How
are
you
looking
deal with the things, sir? Like how you deal with these big competitors as a tea estate owner, as a tea producer?
for. See, I think there is a 1.4 billion people growing.
सही बात है.
There is a market for everybody if your product is good. You focus on quality, you focus on being truthful to the audience. Ki, what are you selling? Why are you selling this? There is a reason. Like if you come and visit us, we'll never tell you buy this product. We'll always tell you, why don't you come and taste? We do this whole tea experience. Understand what this is and then buy. And it's a very slow growth. That's why I'm not looking at competing with the big guys. I like people when they understand and then they buy and then they like my tea and then they want to rebuy. That's when I feel that, okay, we've done a good thing. That there is somebody who's coming back and said, guys, I like your tea. I would like to order. And that's why now we started selling on Amazon. We started selling on our website. So people come and buy. But yes, it's slow. The amount is minimal. We are trying to grow faster. But I don't think I can take on the bigger guys. But I think there is a market in India for everybody. So because it's such a large market, there is space for everybody to survive. It's not saying that I want to come and disrupt the market and I want to think. Yes, my disruption is I'm telling you, I'm getting you the freshest teas from my tea estate. We're going to be certified organic. We don't spray pesticide. We are getting the certification. You can come and see for yourself as well. So that's the change.
Agreed. That's a very important thing. That's India is a big market. If you have a passion and if you know your audience and you can have a consistency on your quality,
Yeah.
then
See, people are now getting aware. People are reading labels. People are understanding. And that is how we are going to become a developed country. People know there are great amount of people now putting information out there. Social media has a lot of pros. There's so much information. I mean, like I've talked about Food Farmer before as well. He's a Calcutta boy.
सही बात.
And he just started with this very simple thing कि India label पड़ेगा या पड़ेगा label India or something like that was his tagline.
अच्छा.
And being educated also, even we never looked at labels. Right?
बहुत
But
बड़ा बात है.
now suddenly, because he said these things and he's becoming, he's creating a movement, there are people who still, there are products I'm buying and I'm looking at the label and saying, okay, these are things which we didn't think of.
सही
Like,
बात है.
as growing up, we drank so many of these beverages which we thought which were healthy.
आप जब बाग बकरी बोले ना, तो इससे पहले मेरे को लगता था ये भी शायद से यही दो बिग प्लेयर्स का कोई ब्रांड है, बट अभी मुझे पता चला आपसे.
So there are, I think in India there are 5 or 6 big brands for tea, and छोटे-छोटे brands emerge हो रहे हैं. Most of the small brands, and especially from tea estates, famous one being Makai Bari. Our whole goal is that we're trying to get you the freshest teas directly from the plantation.